What's going on, guys? Kirk here from MotoGear TV. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Guys, today is going to be a very special one because for the first time ever, we're going to be featuring Viet F80 hose F80 M3 here on the channel. It's going to be super sick. Going to give you guys a full rundown of his build from start to finish and why he chose to go with it. Got a lot to cover. Stay tuned. Let's get started. Alright, so we're here with the man himself, Viet.
What's good,
man? Big respect for being on the channel for the first time, featuring his F80 M3.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Kirk and Mark, the guys behind MotoGear TV, for having me on. Make sure you guys check them out, subscribe to them if you haven't already, and I appreciate them taking the time to film me and the F80 before the F80 might be gone forever. So
yeah, man.
We'll tell you guys about that in just a little bit. We just wrapped up, by the way, a feature film on his M2.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys follow the links in the description below, watch his video, because we just shot a banger on his M2, so you guys have to check that out. But I think we were just talking that we met probably like 3 or 4 years ago at Desertland, and he came up to me, he's like, yo, I watch the channel, and then I was like, no way, you do YouTube too? And then ever since then, family, boys, we hit it off, and we've been supporting each other on social media and YouTube ever since.
So this car, I mean, getting into it, was this your first BMW?
So this is not my first BMW. For a few friends of mine in Orlando will know, before I had the F80, I actually came from an F30 328. That was actually my first big boy purchase car coming out of college when I got my first real job. And I came from a Jetta before that.
Oh, so nice. So we
had the same thing. I didn't think you knew that about me either. Kirk also came from a Jetta, so we have a lot of similarities that we're finding out today while filming. But I actually had a Jetta in high school. And then I've always liked BMWs. I grew up with a neighbor actually who had an E46 M3, and then he had an E60 M5 with the V10 in it.
Nice.
And every day he drove past my house when I was in middle school, and I just fell in love with BMWs ever since then. I told myself I wanted an M car. I actually wanted an E46 before. It's still a dream car of mine. I hope to have it one day in the garage. And then that V10, every time he drove by, I was like, that's coming out of a BMW, no way. So anyway, I fell in love with BMWs then, and then in high school, before I even got my first car, I always wanted an E92 M3.
Okay.
One for the looks, and then when you hear the V8, of course, it's a different beast. And that's another M car that I hope to own one day in the garage. But long story short, I got my 328 back in 2018, I think this was.
Okay.
Bone stock 328 F30 N20. So this is a complete night and day car from what I had before.
Yeah.
And I had that car for 2 years, and I did literally everything that you could do to it, besides upgrade the turbos, of course.
Okay.
And I have this, I guess, obsession/addiction of modding cars quick, going all out with the build, of course. So don't follow in my footsteps because you'll break the bank.
Oh, it's a very expensive hobby, trust me.
You might make your girlfriend or your wife unhappy because you're spending all your money on your car. But anyways, that car was an amazing build. I met a lot of friends in the BMW community through that car that I'm still friends with today. And that's just a testament to say of like how good the BMW community actually is, because this car was bone stock. I met some people through Instagram. I was following Keys Motorsports F30X, thick F30 at the time.
Yep.
And they motivated me to not only modify my car, but eventually one day pick up the camera and actually start my YouTube channel. So
that's awesome,
without the F30, I wouldn't be here in front of you guys. This car probably wouldn't be here, and my YouTube channel 100% wouldn't be here without that car.
Now let me ask you, before you got this car, was there any other car you were considering at the time?
So originally when I got my 328, and then I fully built it up, and I was asking myself, I think the next progression that everybody gets is, you go into an M car.
Mm-hmm.
I really was looking at an F80 because when the F80s came out, I was already in college, I believe. This is 2014-15 when the F80 came out. Yeah. The new body style, I absolutely fell in love with. I think it's a timeless design. I think it's super aggressive. I think it'll be one of the best looking generation of M cars that BMW ever makes. And again, that's my own biased opinion. Some people might disagree or whatnot, but again, when I saw this in college, I think I saw it driving around Orlando actually, and I just saw it drive by. It literally broke my neck. I was like, what car is that? I want that car, and it gave me something to work for. In the back of my mind, I always wanted an F80 M3 because I'm a kind of a sedan guy, so I really wanted the F80 M3 after the 328, and I actually stumbled upon a really lucky deal during COVID. Around the same time Kirk was buying his car, looking for his car. I actually bought my car, this F80 M3, I think 2 weeks after shutdown, and I actually got this car during COVID in 2020. Yeah.
Nice, man, nice.
Yeah, so that's how we stumbled upon the F80. It's literally surreal because it feels like yesterday I was in my 328, I was in my Jetta, and I was just dreaming about this car. And now you guys see from social media, YouTube, it's literally a dream come true. And the way that we've done it, I couldn't be more happier.
How did you want to build a car? Did you want it to be for speed, for looks?
Yeah, so I think originally, the F80 already looks good as it is, but my first goal when I bought this car actually was just to do aesthetic mods. So we did some carbon fiber here and there. We got some aero from the front, the rear, the side, the parts that everybody always gets. And then we went into exhaust, and then we eventually dabbled into power, and then it eventually became the show car that you guys see now with all the cool, bits in here in the engine bay and the wheels, of course, that you guys know on the car. So we'll start with the front. We have a GTS aluminum style hood from Souvenir. Absolutely love this hood. I've preached it countless times on my channel, and for those of you who have asked on Instagram, it's probably one of my favorite mods that I've done to my car because it not only transforms the look of the F80 or the F8X cars, it just adds so much more aggression, and it just ties everything together when it comes to the front end.
Yeah, it's really nice. A lot of people have been telling me so I should get that for my car as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a game changer on the M2.
Yeah.
The next mod that I love talking about are these OEM Icon headlights from BMW.
Yeah, because your car is a 17, right?
Yeah, so this is a 2017 comp, and I was actually one of the first people to swap over Icon headlights from an 18 M3 to a 2017 and post it on YouTube for people to watch. So
nice.
I actually wanted a 2018 with the Icon headlights because again, these headlights just update the front end similar to what I said about the GTS hood.
Yeah.
But at the time I couldn't afford a 2018. So with my budget, I opted for a 2017 with the old adaptive halos, and nothing against the halos because that's iconic BMW. But I always told myself I wanted to upgrade these headlights eventually one day. Yeah. Because I think it just transforms the look of the front end.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing that stands out the most to me, especially looking at the front of the car.
Yeah.
This front lip looks really aggressive. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this, again, going with the theme of what I'm saying, this front lip for the F8X is probably my favorite lip that you can put on our cars.
This is like the Laptor, right?
Yeah, so this is also from Souvenir. This is the Laptor style lip.
Nice.
And as you guys can see from the front, it goes along with the body lines of the bumper so well.
Yeah.
But the best part about this front lip is the side wing.
Yeah, the side sprats, man, really aggressive.
It's basically like a molded on wide body, but not really from the front. And it just looks so clean and so aggressive. Obviously with black, everything kind of blends in together. Yeah. But if you have a different color car, it really stands out. It really pops in contrast off different paint colors.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people color match them too.
Yeah. Oh, the color match ones look so good.
Pretty good.
Obviously I had to do that with the black. And again, this whole front end is, I can look at this all day basically.
Yeah, man.
It's so good, and I just love how aggressive and how it came together.
No, it really came along really nicely. And you got the painted rondelles as well.
Of course, we got these off of our boy, Shane M3's F80.
Nice.
Painted
so the build lives on.
Yeah, the build lives on. Shout out to my boy Ben.
Looking at a very, very baller setup. HRE wheels. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I was actually looking for aftermarket wheels for my car for a couple months. And so I was going on Facebook Marketplace and looking around in the Orlando, the Tampa area, to see if anybody was parting out wheels or looking to trade, and then me adding cash on top. Lucky for me, by the grace of God, I literally found a guy who had an M4 in Tampa. He worked at the dealership over there actually.
Nice.
And he was parting out his M4. And long story short, I lowballed the hell out of him. Like literally
crazy.
lowballed. I was still in college at the time. I guarantee you this. I was still in college at the time, working somewhere else, and I lowballed him because that's all I could afford at the time.
Yeah.
And to my luck and to my avail, he accepted my offer and told me to meet him at the dealership the next day. And literally the next day we drove over after class, swapped over the wheels, $1,100 cash and competition wheels. And that's how we ended up with my HRE wheels.
And that's crazy because I don't know the exact name of these wheels specifically, but I know, retail, they're not
They're
not cheap.
$2,500. So these are the S101 series from the S series, and these are 3-piece wheels. And brand new, if you go online right now, I think they go for around $2,500 a pop.
Each,
which is insane. I tell you guys right now,
Nice.
I would not personally spend that much money on wheels, but again, I lucked out. They're sitting on Michelin 4S's, and we have the Motorsport hardware, stud conversion kit, of course.
Very nice.
But we have a 29.5 front and then a 10.5 rear.
Okay.
And we're sitting on, again, 4S in the front, Super Sports in the rear. We're lowered on the KW height adjustable spring kit. And the funny thing is, like, I came from a F30 with a Y-spoke blacked out wheel.
Yeah.
And I came to my F80 and I put a black Y-spoke wheel on it. So,
Yeah, man.
but we're hoping to change that up in the future builds. So stay tuned for that one. We have some M Performance side skirts that have been hydro dipped in carbon fiber
Nice.
to go along with the body lines, and that wraps it up for the side.
Okay.
And if we want to move along to the rear, we have a PSM style carbon fiber spoiler.
Yeah, really aggressive.
Really aggressive. Again, goes with the theme of the car, I think. It really complements the body lines. And then to go along with the spoiler, we have the PSM style diffuser with the under tray. And then one more mod in the rear.
Yeah.
We also have some OEM Shadowline taillights, LCI
nice.
taillights. They're a little darker up here and then down below as well. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but in person you can notice.
Yeah, because the normal ones are like more
red.
cherry red.
Yeah, just red. And then we'll get into the exhaust.
Yeah, because this guy is the exhaust king when it comes to F80s. Yeah,
Yes,
so we'll
sir.
dive into that in a second. But let's move to the interior of the car.
This car originally came with black comp interior, and we did 2 different types of swaps to
Okay.
it over the years. We actually switched out the black competition interior for red, secure, non-comp seats. And then we did a full swap. That's a video on my YouTube channel as well. And that was step 1 of converting my interior from black to red.
Nice.
So we did the door cards, we did the rear seats, we did the dash with Ben, and then we eventually did the front competition seats with Ben as well.
Yeah. I think it really gives the car a nice pop because for the most part the exterior is pretty dark.
Yeah, red on black or black on red, however you want to say it. I think it just goes so well together. I was looking for months and months for red interior. I finally found the door cards. I was lucky enough to find a guy in Tampa, actually a local guy, who wanted to trade black for red.
Okay.
And so that's how we originally got into the rear and then the original red seats. And then an unfortunate event happened, I think 2 years ago. Our boy Ben, shout out to Shame M3 S55.
Yep.
He had Alpine White F80, red interior. Competition package, just how I wanted it. Unfortunately, his F80 got totaled, and Ben offered me his competition seats, which we have here with the cutouts. He offered me the red extended leather dash from his car, and then he also offered me the black IND badges that we just talked about.
Nice,
So
nice.
that's the story behind how we got to where we are now with the interior, and how we did a full competition swap from the black leather to the now red extended leather. The condition you see now is mostly from Ben because they looked like this when they came out of his car, but I try to take as good of care to my leather seats
Yeah.
and to my interior as much as I can.
Nice.
Same with the paint. I do take care of the exterior of the paint, but I can't take all the credit for that as well. Shout out to my boy Caleb at Hands On Detailing. He did
Yeah,
a
big
full,
up Caleb.
He did a full paint correction and ceramic coating job to the F80. So that's why people on Instagram say that my car looks clean all the time.
Yeah.
It's actually because it's actually not clean all the time. It's actually dirty half the time. But when it is clean, it's done easily because Caleb did a ceramic coating job on it, and it makes the car super glossy and makes cleaning the car super easy to maintain as well. So some other goodies that we did, we have the OEM M Performance V2 steering wheel. We have red start stop M1 buttons, and we also have the red cluster gauge behind from Euro Customs PR. I originally had blue, but when I did the full red interior swap, I thought it was only fitting to swap out the buttons and the
Yeah.
gauge to red as well to match everything.
Yeah, it looks clean and it really blends in everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really nicely.
I love how it turned out. And then when Ben put in the extended dash I think that kind of just ties everything together too, because you can see the red over here, you can see the red under the steering wheel over here.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It looks super premium. I think how the car should have came, of course. And then we also have some carbon fiber trim on the steering wheel, and then we have the magnetic.
Yeah, the JQ Works
magnetic paddles, of course. And super tactile, super fun to drive. And then we just have some small in performance carbon fiber goodies on the center console, on the shift knob, and then the e-brake. Something light. Something light.
This is not stock.
So obviously when you pop the engine bay, the first thing that your eyes probably get drawn to are these ApexBuilt front mount intakes and their charge pipes as well. These are finished in a sunset rosé finish, so it's a lot of gold, purple, and a little bit of red.
Yeah.
Graham, the owner of ApexBuilt, thought that this finish, this burn finish and the titanium would pop in my engine bay, and he was 100% right. But what happened after the intakes were put on was the rest of the engine bay was stock. So you know us being car guys, and how my personality is, I'm not gonna just leave it like that. So the next thing we did was Active Autowerke sent out their cooling kit.
I didn't even know they even made this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, so they sent out their cooling kit. It was actually a new product line of theirs, I think 2 years ago. And it's a little dirty right now, I apologize for that, but this is their charge cooler, and it's actually hydro dipped in carbon fiber, which I think is a really nice touch.
Did they do that themselves?
Yeah, they did that themselves.
Sick.
They also sent out their charge pipes, and then underneath, you can't see because everything's black, is their upgraded heat exchanger right here. And then, of course, we weren't going to leave the rest of the engine bay stock. So I reached out to Mashimaro, Sean over there in Seattle, and he sent out this M Performance carbon fiber engine cover. He also sent out the golden wrench caps that you see here in the engine bay. And then the last piece of the puzzle was I reached out to Downstar, Frank and the team over there, and they sent out these burnt titanium dress-up bolt kits for the engine bay, which I think ties everything together, especially with the front mount intakes and the charge pipes.
Did they purposely match it close? Or?
Yeah, they matched it as close as we could.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you send them a picture, and then they get it as close as you can. All these people actually listed on the hood I've been partnered with for my build and on the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to start a YouTube channel, the best advice we have for you guys is just to do it. Pick up the camera and just do it.
Real quick. This man.
Hi.
You're supposed to start a YouTube channel. What's going on?
They're on me today, boys. They're on me. All right, we're in progress. I got the laptop. I got to get like a camera setup going. I don't want to be having the A7 III out there. It's heavy.
Excuses.
Listen, for this year at Beamer Invasion, you were a booth car for Apex, right?
Apex, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I was a booth car for Apex this year, and then a booth car for Active last year.
Nice.
And again, never did I imagine when I first got my F80 would I have ever been a show car, let alone a booth car. So it's very generic what people say, but it's crazy what like hard work, dedication, and motivation can get you. And I'm super happy for all the relationships that I've made. And without them, this car wouldn't have been possible to build. And so I got to give a shout out to all my vendors that I've been able to partner up with. Big respect to them.
Nice.
This engine bay, like obsession, I guess you would say, all started when I got this bad boy right here. Because after I got the GTS hood, the exterior was done. Again, I did the whole car in phases. As you guys know, the car has done a couple transformations throughout its lifetime. Putting on the GTS hood, completing the exterior, I was like, it's time to dive into the engine bay now and make it a show car, I guess you would say.
Other than, the bolt-on stuff, is the car tuned at all?
Yeah, so we have a full Active Autowerke downpipe. We have their single mid pipe as well, and then we have their Mad Max exhaust, which you guys will hear very shortly. And then for tune, we have a stage 2 boot mode tune that we've been running for 2 years now, no issues. I tell people that ask me all the time about the crank hub. I haven't upgraded mine yet, but the reason why is because I haven't had the desire to run E85 yet. So I tell people online, if I was to run E85 or even E30 on my car, I probably would have upgraded the hub a long time ago. But I've been running stage 2 for over 2 years now, and I've had no issues. I'm completely fine with the power level. I've come to find out that I'm more of a aesthetic and sound kind of guy when it comes to cars, and then speed, it comes last. So I think the F80 being stage 2, looking the way it is and sounding the way it does, I'm completely content with the power as it sits now. And so that's why I've had no desire to upgrade anything else.
Nice. You've been working a lot with Active Autowerke. Your car has basically been like the test goat for a lot of their exhaust setups.
So I pride myself, again, shout out to Active Autowerke. Couldn't have done a lot of YouTube videos without them. They've been family to me, and they've also sent out a ton of parts.
Yeah, Chinese Jamaican.
Yeah, Chinese Jamaican, shout out to them. I've been really fortunate enough to work with them when it comes to R&D and stuff like that, as well as testing out different types of mid-pipe setups for them. When the equal length mid pipe came out, I did a lot of videos for them on that. And at the end of the day, the best messages that I received online, whether it was on Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube, was you did all the hard work, so we didn't make the wrong decision when it came time to buy an exhaust for our cars.
Awesome.
So for example, when the equal length came out, everybody loved the equal length.
Yeah.
It smoothed out the sound of the S55 motors. As you guys know, they're really raspy, from the factory. And so when the equal length came out, it was a game changer mod, of course. I had that on my car first before I got downpipes, and it sounded so good. It sounded so smooth. It's probably one of my favorite mods that I've done to the exhaust. But when we dabbled into aftermarket downpipes, we ran into some resonance issues that some of you guys may know who have watched the channel. And so they sent me out a single mid pipe. We did many videos with the equal length and many videos with the single. And right now we actually have a single mid pipe on the car that we ultimately settled with.
So the single mid pipe, is that the resonated version you have?
So I have a full catless downpipe, non-resonated single mid pipe, and that goes to their new Mad Max exhaust, which is pretty crazy. And it looks insane online if you see pictures of it.
Yeah, I'll throw up a picture just so they can see it.
So when you guys see it, it has literally 2 dump tubes that come down like something out of Mad Max the movie, so hence the name Mad Max exhaust. The way I describe it is it's a louder and deeper competition muffler, and I absolutely love it.
Nice.
So let's start it up for you guys and show you guys what it sounds like.
Yeah, man. Here you guys. It's open. Woo! Jesus. Going again? Yeah, thing's loud.
But as I mentioned before, at the higher RPMs, the rasp does come back. So it's the best S55 exhaust that I've been happy with. I wish I could pair up the equal length and keep the aftermarket downpipes, but you can't really pair the two because you run into that issue. But I've had this set up for like 2 years now, and I love it. As you guys can hear, it's loud, it's deep, it's fun, it wakes up the car. It definitely makes it more enjoyable and the driving experience that much better.
Let me ask you, you've done a lot to it.
Yeah.
It's been a couple years. What's next for you or for the car?
I think it's time for me to close the chapter on the F80 and for me to start something else, not only for the channel, but for my own personal goals.
Yeah.
I have a lot of dream cars that I want to cross off the list one day. This was one of them. I wish I could keep the car forever and then, add to the stable. But right now, the timing isn't right for that, so unfortunately we're going to let the F80 go. Yeah. I don't know when this video is going to be released. It might be sold by then. We might have a new car on the channel by then. So you guys got to stay tuned and stay updated. But thank you to Kirk for having me out. It's always a pleasure for sure.
Yeah, and I appreciated seeing, the progress of this car. Definitely make sure you go ahead and check out Viet's YouTube channel, F80 Ho. Go subscribe to his channel and stay tuned for what's to come.
Stay tuned. Thank you guys. Yeah. And I was telling Kirk off camera, it's weird for me to be actually in front of the camera instead of interviewing other people. So
it's different. It's different, man.
It's a different vibe. It's a whole different vibe. But shout out to Kirk and his brother, absolutely killing it at MotoGear TV. Do me a favor and follow them, subscribe to them, and support them as well.
Yeah, man. Big respect as usual.
Big respect, yeah.
Gonna go ahead and close this one out. Make sure you guys tune in for more Geared Up content. Tune in for more content from my boy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
We out.
All right, later, guys. We're gone. And what's the IG handle to check out the car?
At S58_Danny.
All right.
Follow your boy.
All right. I got my boy JL here too.
Yo.
What's the IG handle? Shout out.
B58_J.
All right.
With an extra Y at the end.